CitrusTV studio for another Beat the Bookie. Your best and real favorite lacrosse host, Ryan Nelson, here to not only entertain you for the next 8 or so minutes, but also put some more dollar bills into your wallet. It's the final few games of the regular season this weekend, which means some juicy in-conference lines for us to sprinkle some extra money on. Now, looking back to last show, Bones and Noah were on the clock just a few days ago, and they had a rough show, to say the least. They were high on Malik Willis in the top 10. Well, he slipped all the way down to day 2 of the draft, and they thought Ike Mekwanu was a lock to go 3rd overall. That didn't happen either. That's not the worst showing of the year for any team, though. You look at the bottom of the list there, Tyler Melito and Nick Zelaya joining Matt and Noah in the cellar of the standings of Beat the Bookie this spring, but I'm looking to stay at the top of the list. Jaron May, Ben Shulman, Will Shea, up there with John Dales. Shout out John Dales, does not get enough love for his $14 he made on the show. That's way too much talking about the NFL draft and Tyler Melito for that matter. Not looking to repeat his failures, and for that, we'll start with our big games of the week. The first big game we're going to look at today is a top 15 Ivy League matchup. Number 5 Princeton, number 13 Cornell. Let's start on the Tigers side. This is a Princeton squad with wins over Georgetown and Rutgers, who are both top 3 teams in the nation. Sure, they were early on in the season, but one thing that has not changed is their offense. They have the 4th most goals per game and just dropped 16 in their game last week against Harvard. On the Big Red side, this was a squad that was once ranked as high as 4th in the country midway through the season. That was a few weeks ago. Now they've lost twice in a row to ranked teams in Army and Brown and have not looked like themselves. Their offense isn't great, but neither is their defense. They are 32nd in the country in goals allowed per game. That's why I'm taking the over with $10. I see this very simply. Princeton scores about 16 goals on average. All I would need from the Big Red is 11 goals, which I think is a gimme, so give me the over of 26.5 for 10 Buckaroos. And how about sticking with the top 15 Ivy League matchup? Well, whether you like it or not, it's our second big game. Yale is welcoming Harvard to New Haven. The line for this one is intriguing to me. The Bulldogs are 3-goal favorites. Harvard has only lost by more than 3 goals twice this season, once to a good Cornell team and once to Ohio State early on in the season when we thought they were all the best team in the league. On the Yale side of things, they just don't blow away their opponents. They have a 2-goal win against Princeton, a 1-goal win against Penn, and while I think Yale is the better team, I like the Crimson to cover the 3 goals. I'll sprinkle $10 on that. I don't like Harvard to win, but the Bulldogs aren't going to pull away. $10 on Harvard to cover 3 goals. Let's head on down to the Research Triangle now for our final big game. Duke and North Carolina, not just a basketball rivalry anymore. Koskinen Stadium will be rocking for this one, and for good reason. The Blue Devil record is deceiving. They're 10-5. That does not tell the story of this team. Every single game Duke has lost has been a close-scoring, grinding battle. They haven't lost a game by more than 4 goals the entire season, and that 4-goal loss was to Syracuse. Their offense is just electric. Brennan O'Neill and Dyson Williams are a 2-headed monster like none other. Not to mention, Mike Adler is a stone wall in cage. UNC is not good. I will die on this hill. Hey, Tar Heel supporters, come back to me when you can beat a half-decent team. Stop padding your wins with Bellarmine and High Point. I love Duke -4 here. $10 should be more than enough to make a good return on investment here in this one. Now let's jump over to my big game, which is very simple. I see Notre Dame against Syracuse, and I hammer the Fighting Irish. The Kavanaughs are going to have a field day against an awful Syracuse defense. The last time these two teams saw the field, Notre Dame won by 16 goals. Are you kidding me? A 5-goal spread is a joke. I don't care that this game is in the Dome. I don't care that it's senior day. Notre Dame has the better defense. They have the better offense. And they have the much better goaltender in Liam Entenmann. That man might just be the best goalie in the nation this year. Definitely top 5. $10 on Notre Dame -5. And let's not change games too quickly. I got more to say. Let's stick with the green and gold, but this time go back to the over-under. The line is 27.5. And that's high. That's close to sky high. That's why I'll throw $10 on the under. Life is not too short to bet the under when you're betting lacrosse. Quote that. I mentioned Liam Entenmann earlier, but I need to give him some due diligence. He's got the 6th best save percentage in the country and the 3rd least goals allowed. He is a brick wall and cage for the Irish. This Syracuse defense will be better this time around as well, and there'll just not be enough offense in this one for the over. Stick with the under at 27.5. My final game is going back to the Ivies for Brown against Dartmouth. Brown is 3.5 goal favorites, and I don't want to bet the line though. The over-under is again 27.5. Deja vu, just like the Notre Dame Syracuse game, and you know where I'm going. Give me the under for $10 in this one. Call me the underminer because we are digging up some free money here on Beat the Bookie. The Bears don't pop many goals a game, and when they do, it's usually against really, really bad opponents. This Dartmouth team is not that bad defensively, but offensively, they are horrendous. They are bottom 15 in scoring offense, bottom 15 in man-up offense. The Big Green will not score over 10 goals this weekend, and that is a fact. Brown's team is not that great to score 18 goals either to make up the difference. The under at 27.5 will hit. Book it. Now, there is no Maryland this week, there's no Georgetown, there's no Rutgers, so we need to double dip into a lot of these Ivy League games. We're going back to the Cornell-Princeton one, and I said I wouldn't touch this game's line, but you broke me. I see the line of 4 goals in favor of Princeton, and I think there's a lot of value in that pick. On Cornell's side, $15 on Cornell plus 4 is my lock of the week. I said a lot of bad things about Cornell earlier, but let me tell you about the good side. John Piatelli is a top offensive player in the country, maybe the best pure offensive player. He averages over 3.5 goals per game. And you know what? The more I think about it, the Big Red are being underrated. Give me Cornell money line as well. $5 more on this game. I don't care about the Tigers. Give me the Big Red. Piatelli and squad are going to go big in New Jersey. And let's not forget about CJ Kirst as well. He fills up the net just like his line mate does. The Big Red are chomping at the bit to get back on the lacrosse field and rebound after a disappointing year so far in the Ivy League. I need some more value for my $100, so $15 on Cornell to cover and $5 to do the impossible upset down in Princeton. Yale Cornell. Now for my game you've never heard of. If you've heard of the Virginia Military Institute before 2 seconds ago, you're kidding yourself and me. Hey, does anyone know their mascot? Bueller? No, I didn't think so. The Keydets are taking on Richmond this weekend. I don't care about the Spiders' record, their history, their team, their anything. Take them, throw them out the window. Give me Richmond for by 9 goals for $15. The Keydets cannot hold their own against a ranked team like the Spiders. VMI lost by 12 goals to Cleveland State and 19 goals to Jacksonville. A 9-goal spread? Are you kidding me? Need I say more? Now I want to head to a parlay now with some value. The first leg will be the over in the Duke-UNC game. Duke has a great man-up offense, and UNC is awful on the man down. They are ranked 68th out of 72 teams in the country. This is an ACC school we're talking about. Also, Brendan O'Neill and Chris Gray on the same lacrosse field. I'll take goals, and more goals for $200, Alex. The line isn't too high at 25.5, and hey, maybe Mike Adler has an off game. The second leg, I'm going to the obscure of college lacrosse. I absolutely love St. Joseph's -4 over Merrimack. Zach Cole is my guy. He may be the best Fogo in the country. Face-offs lead to possessions, and possessions lead to goals. The third leg is for some safety, Notre Dame money line. There's really no value in this pick, but I do what I want, and some safe bets I like in this one, Notre Dame money line. My fourth leg is a little bit more, going back to the Ivy League. Brown -3.5 over Dartmouth. This Brown team is hot, and hot teams win games by at least 4 goals. I like $5 on this 4-leg parlay to net us a clean $37.36. Looking at our picks as a whole, though, there's some good picks I like here out of the Ivy League. I like the Princeton-Cornell over at 26.5, but don't forget about that Duke. -4, I think that's an easy cover against North Carolina team that has struggled this season. And anything Notre Dame against Syracuse, you have to take that any single time you have it. Moving on to more of our locks of the week. My lock of the week is Cornell +4 over Princeton for $15. And give me the big red money line. Don't forget about that parlay. That will let you some obvious bucks as well. So those are my picks, and I would tail them if I were you. College lacrosse betting is obviously better than college football betting and college basketball betting, and you can ask Jaron May about that one. That's all the time I have for you right now on Beat the Bookie. Thank you so much to Braden Reed and Ethan Frank for such a great semester of sports betting in the hopes of more green and less red heading into next semester. For Ryan Nelson, try to make some more money and stay safe betting.